Alright, my YouTube family, welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and as most of you know by now, next week on February 11th, we are going to see the new Mastery difficulty drop into the game, and the reason I bring that up is because I know a lot of players out there have been doing some farming, and one request I've been receiving here at the channel is for a tank build that you can use on any difficulty in the game, whether you're playing solo or in a group, and that's exactly what I'm bringing you today. Now, in full transparency, if you happen to be a solo player, I'm going to leave a link to another build I recommend using, and the only reason I say that is because the time to kill with this build is pretty damn slow, and if you're farming solo in the Summit on Legendary, there are other viable options you can use, and I'll leave a link actually to a few different videos. Now at this point, we are going to cut to the gameplay footage, and I actually recorded this over the holiday season. That is why I'm wearing the Santa hat, but I never actually posted the thing, so that's what you're getting today. Hope you enjoy it, my fellow agents, and with that being said, here's the build breakdown. Now we're going to start with a specialization. You can see I'm using technician. And the reason we're doing that is because you're going to get that extra skill tier. You also get an extra 12% damage bonus to drone skill proxies and robotics. And on legendary, you're going to run into a ton of those. However, the main reason we're using this is because you have access to the Artificer Hive, and that is going to greatly increase your shield efficiency and duration. And remember, regardless of which specialization you choose, have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you're getting a 15% weapon damage bonus regardless of which one you're using. Now, because I'm going to be using the Bulwark Shield, that means my handgun is really going to be my primary weapon. So these first two, you can do any combination you want. It's totally up to you. Now, as far as my handgun, you can see I'm using the Liberty. And the reason this is so effective is because it has the talent Liberty or Death. Hits grant 2% weapon damage, stacks up to 30 times. Headshots consume all stacks, repairing your shield for 3% per stack. Now, one thing you are going to notice in this video, and you know, once again, I never bullshit you here at the channel, is that I'm absolutely terrible with my aim in regard to a handgun because I do not use this build that often. There are more efficient ways to farm legendary because when you're using a handgun, it does take a while to take out an NPC. So for those of you that may be interested, I will leave a link to a legendary skill build in the video description. That way you can check that out as well. Now, as far as my gear is concerned, I'm running 4 of the Foundry Bulwark, 1 Douglas and Harding, and as you can see, the Catharsis mask. And in my opinion, this is easily one of the best masks in the game because of its Talon Vicious Cycle. Taking damage builds stacks to a cap of 30. Each stack grants 15% weapon damage. Taking damage at max stacks triggers a purge, removing all stacks and status effects, and then dropping a healing cloud, which restores 5% of your max armor for 10 seconds to all allies in the cloud. Again, this thing is highly effective whether you're playing solo or in a group, which now takes us to the body armor, and it is the first of 4 pieces of the Foundry gear set. We're running all 4 so we get all of the gear set bonuses. 2 pieces 10% total armor, 3 pieces 1% armor regen and 50% shield health, and 4 pieces makeshift repairs. And with that talent, anytime you or your shield take damage, it's going to repair 25% to both over the next 10 seconds. However, because we are using the body armor, that is going to be increased to 35%. And as we make our way to the holster, there happen to be 2 things I'd like to mention really quick. First of all, always remember that this is just a template. The most important thing is to truly take your time and make a build your own. For instance, you may want armor regen instead of explosive resistance or vice versa. Totally up to you. Again, try out different variations. And the other thing I'd like to mention is the fact that this build is not even close to being perfect. You know, when we look at the knee pads, I'd much rather that be a combination of, let's say, explosive resistance and armor regen, but that's the best one I have. And always remember, in the meantime, while you're farming for that perfect gear, you can still put something together that can get the job done. Now, making our way to the backpack, because we are using the Foundry bag, that is going to increase the makeshift repair speed from 10 seconds to 5 seconds. Like I mentioned earlier, when it comes to my skills, we're using the Bulwark Shield and the Artificer Hive. And for those of you out there who have never used the Hive before, always remember that if you have it holstered as a solo player, you are going to get the benefits. If you're in a group, you can drop it on the ground. Make sure you are in the radius, again, to get those benefits. Hope this video helped you out, my friends, and as always, questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you as quick as I can. Most of you know that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family that we have here at the channel, so if you have any recommendations to pass along, please feel free to do so in the comments section. Now at this point, I'm just going to cut to some gameplay footage of legendary farming in the Summit. Please let me know of any other questions you have I did not address. Thank you once again for the privilege of your time, and as I mention at the end of every one of these, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.
Agent eliminated.